Senator Deacon, Ontario.
Thank you. Merci. Colleagues, I rise today to speak in support of Bill S-209, an act to amend the Canadian Elections Act and the regulation adapting the Canada Elections Act for the purposes of a referendum regarding voting age. I would like to thank Senator McFedrin and her staff for their hard work in putting this bill together and allowing this chamber to debate this important issue. The debate around lowering the voting age, of course, predates the legislation before us. Over the years, when I would discuss the issue, I would hear people say something to the tune of, when I was 16, I was too young or immature to make an informed choice. Or they point to a young person they know who is disengaged from politics and either would not vote or vote, in their opinion, incorrectly due to their lack of understanding or appreciation of the politics of the day. To such comments, I say that I think we can all speak from experience, that when an individual hits their 18th birthday, a switch does not go on that equips them with the mental faculties to make informed, well-thought-out choices on any number of issues. I'm sure each one of us knows an adult or two who we can apply any number of these anecdotes I just listed above. While we use the age of 18 as the legal definition of an adult, there are a number of actions a Canadian can legally take before the age of 18 that would be considered adult. They can enter into a consensual sexual relationship or drive a car. They can pay taxes. They can enlist in the Canadian Armed Forces Reserves. We, of course, need definitive ages as set boundaries for any number of actions, but the consensus and understanding around which actions can be sanctioned at a specific age evolve. They evolve as our society and culture change over time. And this is why we have to seriously consider this bill before us here today. I'd like to take a minute to look at what our students are presently doing in both elementary schools and secondary schools today, now. In researching for this speech, I did two things. I met with secondary students that represented over 60,000 local students that covered all walks and needs of life, and I reviewed a handful of course descriptions related to civics in both elementary and secondary schools all over Canada. Through this research, I saw units, half courses, and compulsory full courses teaching, but not limited to the following expectations of outcomes. Listen to the language and intent of this language carefully. First, students applying the concepts of political thinking to investigate, debate, and express informed opinions about a range of political issues and developments that are both of significance in today's world and of personal interest to them. Students learning about the democracy in local, national, and global contexts and about political decision-making across Canada. And students exploring the issues of civic importance and influence in social media. Almost across the country, before they've completed grade 10, students will use the political thinking concepts and political inquiry process to investigate issues of civic importance. They can describe the key values of democratic citizenship and how civic action contributes to the common good in Canada. Students are able to explain the roles and responsibilities of various institutions, structures, and figures in Canadian governance, understand the rights and responsibilities associated with citizenship in Canada, and some ways in which these rights are protected. I am still amazed by a grade 5 student who continues to email me to critique our present Senate governance structure. When I asked about his learnings, he said to me, "Government function is part of my grade 5 curriculum." My roundtable with a variety of students representing all aspects of communities was the most informative work done in my preparation of this bill today. They were passionate, they were open, they disagreed, and they debated this to the ground from all sides and all possibility. I observed, I facilitated this, but they carried this important message at the end of the day. Today, the local and global experiences and instantaneous exposure to information have resulted in young people being more informed, more articulate, and more activists than we realize. As a learner, as a teacher, as a coach, and now a senator, I am continually impressed by the intelligence and engagement I see in our young Canadians. A quick look at the research bears this out. Younger Canadians are more likely to search for information on a political issue or topic, or to participate in a march or demonstration than Canadians over the age of 25. They are more likely to have volunteered in the past 12 months than their older counterparts. According to one study, they are also 41% more likely to engage in informal political activities, and an incredible 97% are more likely to be engaged in a civic organization than Canadians aged 25 and over. Some of my colleagues have already mentioned that voting at an early age enshrines Canadians the importance of going out and casting a ballot and thinking critically about who it is you are voting for while doing this. This is more important today than it has ever been. Social media and news services that only serve to reinforce an individual's point of view are increasingly polarizing the electorate in our country. Worryingly, an Abacus survey done a few years ago found that about 1 in 4 Canadians say they hate their political opponents. We must teach the next generation of Canadians to keep an open mind and to consider other points of view. Jurisdictions who have already lowered their voting age, such as Scotland and Austria, have seen positive results in youth political engagement. If the evidence bears this out, then this is an idea worth pursuing. Colleagues, this bill is before us at this critical juncture in our history. Even before the pandemic, it felt that the world was at a turning point in so many ways. COVID-19 has made the stakes even higher. In the coming years, decisions will be made by governments that will reverberate decades into the future, not only affecting young Canadians today, but their children as well. I think it is only fair that we send this bill to committee where the idea can receive proper scrutiny and consideration. We owe our young Canadians at least that much. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech.
Senator